So, y'all, a lot of possibilities. Okay, a lot of possibilities after this episode. Check it out. Somebody is possibly confrontational and wants all the smoke.
Yup, 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 yup.
Somebody is possibly a bimbo. Somebody is possibly a bad wife. And somebody's marriage and money is possibly funny.
Who had been saying that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
I know, right? Who said that? Child, listen, it's the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get into it. But first, listen. Peace, cousins. Your cousin Reebell, aka The Voice, and I have an opinion about everything. Okay? And this is Reebell Radio represents the reality recap. That's right. It's your weekly dose of reality TV, pop culture, entertainment, news, advice, and hot topics. And for tonight's reality recap, I'm on season 17, episode 3 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and we'll get into that in just a sec. But in the meantime, smash the like button and subscribe with the bells so you don't miss none of my commentary on this and other reality shows and situations. All right? So bust it. Okay, so y'all, real quick, before I get into the episode, I just want to say thank you so much to all of my new subscribers, all the new cousins that done joined up in this piece. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. Y'all have no idea what that means to me. I'm so serious. Okay, so let's get into the episode, guys. All right, so the episode starts off with K. Michelle in the hospital, right? And she's recovering from her surgery. And the wounds from her prior surgery to remove the silicone from the illegal injections that she got, it made it that, that was making her sick. And that's why she had to get it. And those sutures or whatever, it ruptured. And she shares that during her country music performance, the wound opened up and it leaked fluid all over the couch where she was sitting. That was in the last episode. So apparently there was an infection, and she underwent an emergency 2-hour reconstructive surgery to remove the infection and the dead tissue. Right. Sidebar. A word to Dr. Caston, right? Bless your little heart for being on the show and supporting her. But I see like his personality is a little dry. It's a little low key. It's a little low energy, right? This is the scene, where she's like the first scene. But I'm just like, you might want to, however you want to put it, dry, low key, he just might just be shy for the camera. I'm not sure. But like I said in my last review, he just doesn't seem happy about being with K. Michelle or being on the show. And I know she said it wasn't no whirlwind thing where he swept her off her feet. She's kind of, being real about that situation as well. And it's definitely apparent. And I know if I saw it, I know y'all saw it, right? But remember the clip that they showed of him at the courthouse, and he just looked so miserable, and he looked like he was under duress, child. But regardless of how he feels, I feel like, you went through it. You went through it, Dr. Caston. So I'm going to need you to perk the fuck up and show up for our cousin, K. Michelle. Okay. Since you didn't have the guts to tell her no, and the cameras are on and you said, okay, whether it was under duress or not, whether you wanted to or not, you said yes. So the least you're going to need to do is you're going to have to act like you want to be present. You're going to have to give some life. You're going to have to give. Because they put y'all on the reunions too. You're gonna have to give, okay? Give some life, baby. This is just a little, from me to you, cousin Caston. But I'm saying that because in the scene, remember she was wiping her tears away and she was trying to gather herself, and she asked him, she said, I look pretty. I look pretty. She's so cute. And he just mumbled, and he wasn't even looking at her. And I was just like, I don't like that. When y'all are on camera, not to say you got to put on, I'm just saying, give it some life. Like, you could have at least looked at her when you said that. My goodness. So, sir, I'm gonna need you to be a better supporting actor to the character, to our cousin K. Michelle up in this. Okay, perk up, baby, perk up. Hopefully it gets better, because I don't want to see him treat her like, the way King was treating Quad and Married to Medicine, child. Now, if y'all watch the show, y'all know exactly what I mean. I'm not trying to see that. I ain't trying to see that over here. So, cousin Caston, I'm gonna need you to get it together, bro. So she has her glam squad, Michelle, we talking about K Michelle has her glam squad come to the hospital when they are discharging her and they got her all the way together, baby. She said, I ain't finna look like no struggle bunny. It ain't in me or it ain't on me. It ain't in me, it ain't on me. She's so country. And I hear that. I hear that. They wheeled her up out of there, out of the hospital looking like old money, rich white woman. That's what she looked like. With her bangs and her silk pajama looking thing that she had on. Bless her little heart. So then Drew went to visit Angela at wait. Drew went to visit Angela, and they were chopping it up about Angela and her relationship with her daughter. And then Drew brings up her family. Y'all, y'all, was it me or was it me? Was it me? Or did y'all feel a little bit cringy or cringed or weird when Drew said, she's been working a lot and she missed her babies? I felt a little bit weird, um and when she said how balancing motherhood and working is difficult, um they cut to the scene where Drew and her daughter, that she has an 8-year-old daughter, and her daughter was crying, and Drew was asking the son, why is she crying? Because the little girl won't talk to her, she won't open up to her. It just, I don't know. It's, oh God, I felt so weird watching that because it's like the little girl doesn't have a connection with Drew, and I'm not listening. I'm not shaming her. I'm just telling y'all what I saw. However it got like that, whatever reason it's like that, that's on them. But I'm just telling you what I saw. And then remember, y'all, in her divorce situation, the judge ruled that she and her son have to leave the house, and she's losing custody of her kids, to Ralph. The kids that she has with Ralph anyway, that are 8 and 10, because they have been missing a lot of days at school. Jesus Christ, child. Missing a lot of days at school. Now, I don't want to judge her. I'm not going to judge her. I'm just going to sit that right there and move on. I'm going to save my comments and on her divorce and her divorce situation for another time, for another situation, for another like recap. I'll do that one like in my Reebell report. I'll probably just go in on that. But it felt weird when she was bringing up her family, knowing what is happening with her right now. I felt weird. But anyway, so Angela agrees that, it's hard to juggle working and being a mom. And I concur, I concur with that. I have kids too. It's not easy. But remember, Angela works in real estate, and she was trying to flip those 3-4 houses that she had last season, and it didn't pan out. So, she lost all the homes in the foreclosure, and said because of that, she lost $2 million. Jesus, $2 million. Yikes. Right? Yikes. I mean, she was sure to stress that it was all of her money versus, I guess, Charles's money, but whether it was hers, his, theirs, it's still a yikes for me. Child, $2 million? Jesus. She says she learned her lesson, but she definitely was not going to give up. And, I feel you on that, Angela. I feel you on that. So the ladies meet up at the nail bar, right? And it's Porsha, Cynthia, Phaedra, and it's K Michelle. And Kay looks she walks in the outfit that I believe that she had on when she left the hospital. And I was just wondering, like, how was she able to do that? Was it just me? I don't know if it's the editing. I don't know what I just felt like, how are you able to leave the hospital when you just had like a reconstructive surgery? So that means your whole booty has to be sore. It has to be, bruised up, stitched up, something, right? I'm just wondering, how was she able to just leave the nail bar and just go up in there and just have a seat you know, and just act like, it's all good. Even upon getting discharged, you're not always all the way healed when you get discharged from a hospital for something like that. They discharge you once you're out of danger of like infection and things like that. But you have to go home and heal up on your own. So it was weird to me that she just walked up out of there in that outfit, and then just walked right up in the nail bar. I don't know if it was editing or what, but I thought that was weird because I would have thought she should be somewhere sitting down or more so laying down, like on her side or on her stomach to heal. I was thinking what Dr. Caston was thinking, what her husband was thinking, but she blew him off. So whatever. She told him, "Don't tell me what to do. I'm going in here to do what I want to do." I said, "Oh, that's what we doing. That's what it is." Okay, girl. Mm. But anyway, so they asked K Michelle about why she was in the hospital, and she tells them about the couch situation and how she left it wet. And Porsha blurts out, Was it a miscarriage?" Porsha, sometimes you just want to just knock her upside her head. Sometimes she just child. K Michelle looked at her like, are you fucking dumb? Are you fucking dumb? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Remy Ma. My fellow BX cousin girl. Child. But what's funny is that in the scene she says, Michelle laughs and says, well, that's what I was thinking. But then in her confessional, she says, I don't know if Porsha was serious, if she was throwing shade, or if she's just dumb. So I was like, that was weird to me because it was like in that moment, she laughed it off and played it off. And she didn't really have a reaction in the moment. But to me, to get behind, the scenes and then say that, it was kind of like a little two-faced, a little two-faced. Yup. Okay, so then she questions Portia's couth, and mentioning something so sensitive to the group, especially in front of the group. And especially since Kay is having, K Michelle. I'm gonna call her Kay. If y'all hear me say Kay, I'm talking about K Michelle. Sometimes I'm gonna say K Michelle, sometimes I'm gonna say Kay. Okay. You with me? Stay with me, okay? So Kay was saying, it was insensitive and kind of stupid to say, especially since Porsha knows that Kay is having fertility issues. And, she says in her confessional, I had a malfunction in my ass and Porsha had one down to her teeth. She is very much, Kay is funny as hell, child. But y'all get ready. I'm telling y'all get ready because like I said, K Michelle don't start nothing, but if you start with her or if she perceives that you're starting with her or trying to be funny or trying to be shady or trying to make her feel low or crazy, she's going to finish it. And that girl's tongue is sharp as a effing. Yup. That girl got a mouth on her. She can go. So she's built for this kind of stuff. These comments, the shade, the throwing, all she's built for that. And she does it very well. So, I'm just saying, Porsha, watch yourself, honey. Watch yourself. And so then Shamea, we go to Shamea. She's talking to her husband about her partnering up with the rum company, right, in Grenada. And she's getting his thoughts about it. And she said that, he's really not impressed. And she said that he almost messed up the deal because he was asking so many questions.
Girl, shut up.
Y'all, that it kind of got on my nerves. What got on my nerves is how she seemed really annoyed when her husband was on the phone with them. And he was grilling them and pointing out issues and, with what was happening. And she just rolling her damn eyes and doing all that stuff like she is just super annoyed. And I'm just sitting there looking at her like, I mean, girl, How you getting annoyed with your husband's guidance? I'm just trying to understand that. I mean, he's asking the shit that you're supposed to be asking, but you don't know to even ask because you know what I'm saying? Because you don't know. And you got the nerve to be rolling your eyes and huffing and puffing. It's like the freaking
Yup,
nerve.
yup.
She even admitted, that she don't know much about the business side of things, and this is what her husband is, and this is what her husband is getting down to, basically. And she is rolling her eyes and just seems like, oh, just so exasperated with his presence and stuff. Like, I'm just like, girl. And she tells her husband, this could be as successful as his HVAC stuff, and it could retire them. This is what she said. It could retire them. This rum business. She said this rum business that she's trying to get into it could be just as successful as his multi-million-dollar business, and it could retire them.
Girl, shut up.
And I mean, I ain't trying to be funny, right? But I'm just wondering, what is Shamea'S? There is, y'all, mark my words, I swear, there is something weird going on because out of nowhere, right? Like last season, she was the housewife. She was chilling. She was getting these lavish, extravagant gifts. She lives in a house that takes up like a whole damn block. Was it a $9 million house or something like that? And then all of us, she's living the life. She's chilling at her, poolside, you know what I'm saying? Just chilling. And then the next thing we know, she's this season, she gotta be a boss. She got to start these businesses because she wants to give in. She wants to be able to give something to the situation. She want to bring something to the table. She wants to, she feels like she wants to save. It sounds like, anyway, to me, like she's trying to save a situation because where's this all coming from? You want to bring something to bring what to the table? You brought yourself. You brought your beauty. You brought your womanhood. You brought you being a great mom to your kids. That's what your husband, this African man, this African traditional man, right? That's what he wanted, and that's what she brought. And to me, she did that, right? So I'm like, all of a sudden, she got to get out here in these streets and start all these businesses because she want to bring something to the table. And then when she's walking back with him, she's like, yeah, this could be as successful as your HVAC business. And this could be something that could retire us. And I'm like, but his business that he got will retire y'all, right? Right? So it made me feel like, what is going on with his business? What is going on with their money? Is their money funny? Is something going on with the ducats? Because like, why, if your husband is a multi-million-dollar successful businessman, right? This is what she said last season. I don't know what the dude do. I ain't look it up. I don't want to look it up. I don't want to know. I'm just going by what she's saying, just like everybody else, just like y'all. But like, if your man is that, then what do you mean this rum business that you started that you know nothing about, that you just want to be the face of, don't know nothing about the business, not really accepting his help with it. You know what I'm saying? But you saying, it sounds like she was saying this is going to be the thing that saves us in retirement. And I'm like, that was very weird to me. That was very off to me. That was something is going on, y'all. Something is going on. I'm telling you, I can't put my finger on it just right now, but something is going on with their marriage, their money. Something is funny, allegedly. I'm just saying. Educated guess. That's all. Okay, so then Pinky goes to see her attorney, and she's talking to him about bankruptcy, and she breaks down to him because she says she feels like a failure, and she feels like the weight of the world, is on her shoulders, because she said that, so many Black women are looking up to her, and she's just breaking down, and I'm just sitting there like, it's very interesting to watch this because it's really, really crazy, really, really crazy how, we as Black women, that we just like, we create these pressures and these pressure-filled situations for ourselves. And I I mean, I understand what she's saying, but I feel like it's just like it's just false. It's just false.
No, the lies.
And I mean that in a positive, in a good way. Like it's false what you're telling yourself. You know what I'm saying? The weight of the world is on your shoulder because and you feel like a failure because all the black women are watching you and looking up to you. Let me tell you something, Pinky. Listen up. Yes, we are watching you. Yes, we are inspired by you. I'm gonna speak for myself. Let me just say I instead of we. I, as a black woman, yes, you are right. I am watching you. I am inspired by you. However, I am not like criticizing you because you ran into some difficulty with your business. What I am doing is still watching. I'm still rooting for you. I'm still wanting you to go. I want to see you win. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you don't have to cry. You don't have to feel like, oh no, I'm a failure. You're not a failure. You're not a failure. You are still inspiring. What the failures come along with this kind of thing. It's still inspiring to see a black woman just step out and do her thing and take on the ups and the downs of something and what's inspiring is watching you come up out the ashes and come up out all of that stuff once it goes down, watching you get back up on your feet. That is what is inspiring, and that's what you should just don't you shouldn't be concerned about us anyway, but that's what we want to see. We don't care that you might be failing in this moment or that you're having trouble with your stuff in this moment. We don't care about that. The ones that that embrace black women and want to see black women do, we are still rooting for you no matter what. So it's just crazy to watch her just put that on herself. You know what I'm saying? It's like just the lies that we tell ourselves.
No, the lies.
Sorry about that, my phone is ringing. It's just the lies that we tell ourselves as black women. It's like, we're not superhuman. We're still human. We are still subject to mistakes and errors and, things like that. Doesn't matter. Those things will happen. But what matters is, are you going to get back up? Are you going to get back up? That's it. And she's getting back up and she's climbing back up. I mean, we're seeing the process, but to my understanding, she's getting, this is all about her climbing back up. And that's what she said. That's what she said. So I'm just like, that was my thing. Just watching her say all of that was just like, Pinky, you are doing too much to yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? So anyway, the bottom line is that, she has to start over with her bankruptcy, and bankruptcy is the only and right option for her. And I wish that she could be okay with that. Or be sad without bringing the world, all of us onto her back, because she's gonna be just fine. If you could start a business like that and get to the point where you have made millions and millions and millions of dollars, baby, you could do it again. Do you understand? You could do it again, and you will do it again, and you will do it again. But what I do want to point out is what's weird to me is that her husband has no idea that she's decided to file bankruptcy, and she has no intention of telling him. And to me, that was, I was just trying to understand that. But she did go into it a little bit, and I just thought it was interesting because it's, she has a husband, not some ninja that's just laying around doing nothing, but her husband is one of the top. I mean, he's doing what she's doing, and he's very successful in it. He's in the restaurant business. He has like a really successful cheesesteak company, and it's like in the top 10 or top 5 I think is what she said. So he is like, he popping, and he knows all about this business. So I thought it was very what is the word I want to say? It was unfortunate, I'm going to say, that she chose to, instead of talking to him about it, she just to create this barrier between them, which is like a dangerous move when you're in a marriage. But she chose to put up a barrier instead of discussing it with him. And not to say, she has to discuss it with him, but why not? Why not? You know what I'm saying? He's not a bum. He got his own thing. He's very successful. I just I just don't get it. And he's her husband. He ain't some nigga you dating. He's her husband. So I just couldn't. And then on their date, he's telling her, how he will always be there for her, and he wants to be her rock, and he wants to relieve her of any financial and spiritual strife. Ooh, child. Sidebar. He said he wants to relieve her of any financial and spiritual strife. Let me tell you something, honey. Those words were music to my ears. Let me just say, shout out to her husband for getting it. Do you know what I'm saying? Shout out to her husband for understanding and saying the words that I think every woman, wants to hear. When you're going through something, that's what you want your significant other to be. That strong, that rock. You know what I'm saying? But instead, did y'all notice that when he was saying this stuff, like that he wants to be, he wants to take the burden off of her, help her with the stuff, get her through it, and saying that they'll go through it together. Did y'all notice how uncomfortable she was looking when he was saying?
Yup.
She just looked so uncomfortable, as if he was saying, do it by yourself. I mean, that was her face, her reaction. It was so weird, when you would think that it would be like a smile and oh, thank you. Oh, thank you for saying that, whatever, that kind of thing. It was just weird. But she was like, no, that's okay. What I got going on, I don't want to put that on you. And again, I'm going to go back to the way we as Black women, we take on the weight of the world. We feel like we have to do it by ourselves, and we really, really don't. Like, we feel like we have to be strong all the time. I mean, I get it, but a lot of times we do that when it's not even necessary. Like in Pinky's case, it's not necessary. You don't have to be strong. You got your husband there to be strong with you, right? For you. You know what I'm saying? And listen, it's conditioning. It is conditioning, because I'm like that sometimes. And I was raised, my mother taught me, she taught me to be feminine. It's not like she put this big masculine thing on me. So I understand femininity. But what she taught me was, as far as my problems, my issues, if I'm going through things, she said, you don't put that shit on nobody else. You handle your own problems. Because honestly, nobody really gives a damn about your problems.
Yup.
Yeah, that's what my mom taught me about so I'm conditioned to not discuss my issues with nobody, to try to figure out a way to get through my issues kind of on my own. I had to learn that once I got married, that my issues, not that they're not my issues and not that they're his issues, but they, sometimes they become our issues. His issues become our issues. And you want to help each other. We're there to like help and guide and push and encourage and give strong words, of advice and encouragement to each other. And it's crazy to see what it looks like, the way that we are sometimes, or all the time, some of us. But I'm going to do some more self-reflecting on that. I just want to make sure, like watching her do that, I want to make sure that I'm not staying in that space, that I'm still, making the decisions to share and open up and be open. And I hope Pinky can kind of understand that and get over that feeling and be willing to share with her husband and understand that he's there to be her rock and to be her support system. Even if it is her business, it doesn't matter. But anyway, so in the next scene, Pinky, K. Michelle, and Cynthia meet up to just kick it. And, Cynthia brings up the fact that K. Michelle tweeted, quote unquote, that she's quote unquote activated. That she is, sorry, y'all, my phone is, okay. She brings up the fact that K. Michelle tweeted that she is quote unquote activated. And then they flash back to all of K. Michelle's tweets. And she's mentioning that she's activated and how bimbos are the loudest. She then starts talking to them about her disgust with Porsha, who she called a dingbat child, for saying that she had a miscarriage in front of the group. Kay says she felt like in that moment that she was being Kelly'd and she was being ambushed and shaded by Porsha. That's how she felt. But Kay, let me say this. I don't know if y'all felt that for her, but I feel like I don't think she was Kelly. I don't think Porsha was Kelly and K Michelle. I don't think she was Kelly and you, Kay. Porsha was just being Porsha, and she's not the sharpest knife in the drawer. No shit. And she has said things out of her mouth that were definitely stupid, definitely inappropriate, or both, right? But I really, honestly, don't think that Porsha meant any harm. But it was definitely, now don't get me wrong, it was definitely inappropriate, and it was an exhibition of her lack of emotional intelligence that she suffers from sometimes. But it was I think it was innocent. I don't think she meant to harm her or Kelly her or shade her in no kind of way. So then Kay asked Cynthia, what is up with Phaedra? And she said all Phaedra does is giggle. Yup. And then they show Phaedra doing just that, making those stupid faces that I mentioned in my last review that I did of the last ep. I said the same thing. I said, I don't know why Phaedra is even here. I don't understand why they got her here. She is adding absolutely nothing but a bunch of lines that are not sticking or landed in them stupid ass faces that she made. What is her purpose on the show? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. So I feel like Kay was really spot on in picking that up. Like, what is up with Phaedra? Why, she just, what is the point? So y'all. So Pinky said that Phaedra said that Pinky said that Phaedra is going around telling people that that Pinky eats meat. Now, y'all, we got to see her confront Phaedra about that, right? Because Pinky said, she's on the board. Remember, she was being bougie about this. She said, I'm on the board of PETA. So, she don't play around about her veganism. And her brand is that she's a vegan girl. And Phaedra is messing with her brand. This is what Pinky said. And ain't no way. And I agree, that's her brand. And then you got Phaedra walking around town talking about she out here eating chicken legs. Child, allegedly. But I'm just saying, ain't no way that Pinky should let Phaedra get away with that. So she better at least ask her where she got it from and definitely correct it, as soon as possible. And I keep hearing Pinky say she's not being supported. Which is confusing because, again, her husband said he's there for her. And I think that there's some kind of blockage in their communication, Pinky and her husband, and or their love languages. There's something going on because he is clearly telling her, I'm here for you, baby. I want to take the burdens off of you. What are you going through? Share it with me. But then she's sitting there hearing it, not receiving it, and then saying, I just feel so unsupported. So it's so weird. Something is going on and they really need to get to the bottom of it before it takes a really bad toll on their marriage. Pinky says she's looking for friends, that can support her and be trustworthy, and that she can open up to. Pinky, girl, no ma'am. No ma'am. If K Michelle is your girl, I would say stick to K Michelle and maybe Cynthia, because Cynthia is not like, she's mature and she, I think Cynthia, if there was anybody that I wanted to be a friend to, I think it would be Cynthia, because I feel like she knows how to keep a secret. She knows how to keep her mouth shut, and she's not like a gossipy, messy ass motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you could trust her with things and you can trust her for really good advice. But I'm just saying, what's your name, Pinky? Don't be over there trusting these ladies and talking about your marriage and giving up all your business, child, because soon as something ain't right, one of them gonna slam you and throw that shit all up in your face.
Yup.
Please believe me. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So Drew meets up with Black, and y'all, I'm gonna keep this nonsense really brief because this ninja showed up with his bare chest showing. I was like, what is this? What is this? What is this? Lord Jesus. But you know, this probably, I was trying to put myself in Drew's, shoes, and it probably feels good to Drew, after going through all this stuff with Ralph, and Black is kicking all that bullshit game to her, acting like he's really pursuing her to be his wife. And I'm just, like he's telling her, yo, you're not girlfriend material, you wife material. And yeah, just the game that he's kicking on the kicking to her is it's just so transparent and ridiculous, because that nigga looked like he out here all up in these ATL streets, child.
Yup.
Allegedly. He looked like he would definitely hit it and quit it. And again, he just looked like he just don't be turning down. Didn't K Michelle say that he was in her DM?
Who had been saying that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
And Drew, yeah, I think K Michelle did say that. And if he's in hers, he's in everybody damn else's. You could just look, some people you could just look at and tell they are for the streets. Allegedly. I don't know this dude, but I'm just saying he just looked like he for the streets. And if he got a little bit of money, that's all it takes down here is, a little bit of money, a little bit of clout, a little bit of, child, and you can just do whatever you want to do, and that's what he looked like he doing. So Drew, I'm just gonna tell you, keep it friends, like you said, girl. Please don't be trying to get serious with this dude. I want to call him something else, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna just leave it at that. So then Angela and her daughter meet up at Angela's new flip investment property, and Angela said, it's an emotional purchase because, she lost her mom and her other 4 properties. So she's just trying to get a win, which she feels will close the chapter of loss and give her like closure after all the losses she's experienced with the houses. And of course, the biggest loss of all being the loss of her mom, which is obviously devastating to her. Oh, child, I'm just saying, when she said that, I felt that in my soul. I just did. As somebody who lost their mom and was devastated by it and traumatized by it, and, years and years and years later, I really felt what she was saying, and I definitely understood, and I knew exactly what she meant. And I had to, grab my little box of tissues for a minute, child. And my heart went out to her because, like she said, when she came to the realization, when she said there is no closure, because there is no closure, when it comes to losing your mom, when you're really close and you have a really good relationship, there's no closure on that. It's like the wound just kind of, it heals, but it just stays in scab mode. Do you understand what I'm saying? That it just doesn't go away. I'm just speaking for myself. It's been a minute. It's really, really hard. So I definitely feel her. My heart goes out to her. And selling the house, even when she does sell a house, it's not going to heal the hurt and the pain that she's feeling from, losing her mom. That might settle the whole, I lost all my houses, but it's not going to have any effect on, the loss that she experienced with her mom. I'm just saying. So anyway, the property looks a mess. But it's definitely the type of property that you want to buy when you want to flip and you want to do regular degular sales. And what I mean by regular degular, it's like a 2-family? No, it's a 2-story family house or something like that. So it's not a luxury property. And and looking at it, you could just tell it's going to be much easier for her to sell it once she gets it like hooked up, because that's where people make the most money. It's like people who are buying and flipping and making a lot of money, they're not buying these big luxury houses. They're buying the single family houses that are like, under 200,000. You know what I'm saying? They're buying them in that condition that you saw. It did look crazy, but they do it. They buy it in that condition, and they, put in, because they get it for like 50,000 anyway, 60,000, under 100,000. Then they put in 150,000 or 100,000 to renovate and get it up to speed and get it looking like new. And then they sell it for, in this market, you can sell it for 3 100,000, make a quick 50,000, $100,000 profit. That's what she's trying to do, and I hope that it really works out for her. I think she did the right thing by buying this level of house and versus trying to buy and flip like a big luxury home. Um, Y'all, I absolutely adore Angela, and I have definitely since they introduced her last season. To me, she is a housewife. She's everything that the show needs. She gives what needs to be given on the show, and she has the essence of what that first group of women had and what they gave when the show first started. And I love
Yup,
it.
yup, 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 yup.
She gives real reality to me. She's vulnerable, and she opens up no matter what she looks like. And I definitely appreciate that. So y'all give it up for Angie B. Angela, she's dope. I love her. I've loved her since day one. And I love Charles too, by the way. Like I said, I'm like in my first recap of the show. I'm from New York, so I'm a Knicks fan. He was playing I remember when he was playing for the Knicks and balling and all that stuff. And I was always a fan of his, like from a sports standpoint. So I just love them as a couple. I know he be trolling and making her look crazy sometimes, but I think ultimately, he does definitely love her, and I think he takes care of her. He's just not that affectionate, schmoozy type especially when the cameras are around. But I'm absolutely rooting for her, to sell this property and get the win that she's looking forward to and that she needs right now, or that she thinks she needs, to stand up. So good luck with that, Angela. I'm definitely hoping that that will happen and I know it will. Looking at the house, I know she's gonna flip it around. Watch when she get it renovated, how it looks. I know the spiders were all over the place. It's hard to see, but watch when she puts her money into it and gets it renovated and gets it ready for resale. Watch how it looks. It's gonna be a whole different situation, and she's definitely gonna sell it. So anyway, so finally, K, Michelle, and Porsha meet up for their sit down, and Kay confronts her about, suggesting that, she had a miscarriage in front of the lab.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
Porsha said that. But by the look on Porsha's face, y'all, you could tell Porsha really ain't mean no harm by it. I mean, again, was it inappropriate? Was it appropriate? Absolutely not. Was she being shady? I just don't think so. I definitely don't think so. Porsha says she, has suffered miscarriages before, and she meant no harm, and she apologized for it. But in the sidebars, Kate was like, fuck your apology. Basically. And she said, especially since Porsha knows what, that she wants to have kids. And Kay said, especially since also that she had told Porsha about the things that she was going through. So Kay told Porsha that she called her a bimbo and was referring to her when she said that she was quote unquote activated in that text. And Porsha was all aghast. She was like, what I do? Me? You was mad at me? You trying to shake the table on me? And Porsha in her sidebar though, she said, we might need to reel back this relationship and start all over. And I agree with you, Porsha, because I don't think you know what you're dealing with here. I agree. I don't think you understand how K Michelle can be. You might want to go back and watch some of that. She says she's a reformed. What did she say? I'm a reformed crash out. Porsha says, so am I, but you ain't on the crash out level of damn K Michelle. Let's keep it real. Okay. You ain't on that level. And I think you need to do your research, and you're right. You might need to reel it back and start all over, because you need to know what you're dealing with here. And from what I've seen, of K Michelle, she is quick, and I mean quick to be offended and quick to come.
Yup.
I'm just saying. And all of this is an example right here. Porsha didn't even mean this stuff, but Kay was not letting that go. She wasn't about to let it go. She went on a Twitter rant, child. And so Eventually she did say she'll give her the benefit of the doubt and she's going to accept Portia's apology. And she did apologize to Porsha for calling her a bimbo. She calls her a bimbo. That is so country. This bimbo. But listen, y'all, it's just not over to me. To me, it's silent beef at this point. Because I think Porsha done made a mental note of it, right? And I know Kata made a mental note of it, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, Porsha, you better tread lightly.
Yup.
Tread lightly for real, because the K Michelle will get in your ass. I'm telling you. I don't mean physically. I'm just saying, like, she verbally, she can go. And that's all I'm saying. So that was pretty much the episode, y'all. That was pretty much the gist of what happened. And I enjoyed it. I did. I think that, like I said, Kay, Michelle, Pinky, and Angela, they are putting the real back in reality TV. And I definitely appreciate it because, the rest of the ladies, it's so pretentious and it's becoming so pretentious and they're hiding the real deal rough stuff. And the crazy thing is you hiding it to your detriment because the things that you hiding and you trying to be ashamed of, meanwhile you want reality TV, which that's like a total oxymoron. But the things that you hiding and you want to be ashamed of, these are the things that people are really going through. And this is why I think people like myself are gravitating towards Pinky and gravitating towards, K Michelle and gravitating towards Angela and appreciating their vulnerability about the things that they're going through and they're sharing, because you don't always stay just because that's where you're at and that's what you're going through. Just show us how you go through it. Let's go through it together is what this reality TV show, is about. And that's how you garner fans and that's how you garner real fans, people that, will grow to like really be connected to you. So, I say that to say that, like I said, K, Michelle, Pinky, and Angela, shout out to them because they are putting the real back in reality TV, in my opinion. So that's all. Jump down in the comments, y'all, and let me know what y'all think about this episode. Did you like this episode? Are you liking the season so far? Did Porsha go too far, or is K Michelle overreacting? What do you think about Pinky, how she's handling this bankruptcy situation? Does her husband have the right to know or be in on the conversation about something like this big, this extreme? Do y'all think something is up with Shamea'S marriage or her finances? I'm just saying, I don't know what it is, and that's alleged. I don't know this lady, but there's a reason why all of a sudden she's, trying to be working on a railroad child. I don't know. Are y'all rooting for Angela to get this win? And what is your take on Phaedra? Like, do you think she's a force to be reckoned with on this season? Should she even be a part of the show at this point? Is she a weirdo? Do you like the faces and the whack lines that she's dropping? That's all I'm saying, y'all. So that's pretty much it. Again, cousins, it's your cousin Reebell, aka The Voice. Go ahead and smash the like button. Go ahead and subscribe. Shout out to all my new subscribers. Again, all the new cousins that joined this dancery. I really appreciate y'all so much. Go ahead and share the video with whoever you watch the Real Housewives with. Continue the conversation. We're gonna do this every week. I'm gonna be obviously doing recaps for all of the shows, and let me know if there's any other shows that you want me to do recaps for in the future. So thank you so much for joining. Y'all have a wonderful day, night, evening, whatever time of day it is for you. But thank y'all so much for the support. I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.